It's black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh, 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 oh. It's black and white.
Hello there, my name is Lee. Welcome back to another video, and welcome to episode 4 of Timetable Reviews. This is the series where I review timetables in my collection and talk about them. And welcome to this first episode of this mini-series showcasing all the stuff that I got at the Wycombe bus running day in March 2025. So without further ado, let's go to the table and let's see what timetable I've got. So here's the table, and here's the timetable. So this is the February 1971 complete local timetable map from London Transport. Note though, this was actually after the split, so this was actually from London Country. Showcasing all the bus, coach and rail services in the Wycombe, Beaconsfield and Gerrards Cross area. As you can see, if we go inside, as you see, it shows all the stuff inside the timetable, all the routes in the map, and including other operators like Thames Valley, City of Oxford, Green Line services, also the other coach operators as well, and also the train services by London Transport and the London Underground, because obviously it does go through here in this area, and British Rail. It then shows an index of places served. Nothing really much there to talk about. And then you've got the area covered map. So as you can see, it shows all the routes in the map covered. Well, most of it anyway, not all of them. And then shows the street diagrams of each town, starting with High Wycombe, as you can see. Nice simple one there. And then you've got Beaconsfield and Gerrards Cross. And then you've got first timetable is a summary timetable of all the services from the Southampton heading in Old Beaconsfield to the railway station in New Beaconsfield. As you can see, as you can see, it was mainly every hour, but on the 305, which, yeah, I know, not the best. Starting with the 305, this was the Uxbridge High Wycombe route, and it used pay-as-you-enter vehicles. These are route buses that didn't have a conductor. Obviously, in these days, you don't have a conductor, but in those days, in the 1970s, you did. However, London Transport / London Country were actually getting rid of them in favour of driver-only buses, and the 305 was one of the first routes in the country area to actually get these. This is operated from High Wycombe through Beaconsfield, Charles and Giles, Gerrards Cross and Uxbridge, which is now, I want to say it's the 104 bus run by Carousel Bus. Yeah, it will be, because the 102 is the direct. As you can see, the service pattern on Monday to Friday, if you just look at the main time of the day, was every 20 to 40 minutes. The reason why, because there was no trip at 21 minutes past. There was one at 41 and one at 01, but the 01 trips always went to Gerrards Cross. The 305A, which started in Charfonts and Giles, was the Uxbridge services. But as you can see, Saturdays was basically the same. It looks like every 30 minutes throughout the day. Yeah, I haven't got that much time today, so we will probably be rushing this video. Next is the 321 Luton to Uxbridge, which does still exist. The 321 does still exist. It's now the Arriva Service 321. It runs as far as Watford from Luton. It's run by Arriva Luton. But back in those days, it used to go all the way to Uxbridge with a half-hourly service all day, which I think is what the 321 does now, anyway. Obviously, at this time, I think it was based at the back garage at Garston at the time in Watford. as well. Even though Garston closed in 2016, it was remembered quite fondly. But the service itself started in Luton. Well, by the looks of things, actually terminated most of the day. Terminated in Kiswell Green, which is just outside of Luton, through Harpenden and up to Watford. Next is the 326, which is the Sands Micklefield route, now the 32 bus run by Carousel. It does show the Thames Valley route. I think that was route 26 and the 26A, which went a little bit further into Sands sometimes. Not always, though. London Transport, on the contrary, didn't always go into Sands, which is that loop bit that you know and love. The 326 used to terminate at Midland Road back in the day. In Sands, so it wasn't really in Sands. It was really in West Wycombe, more or less. But I'm not judging that by what London Transport said. But during the day, the 326 were. Let me just have a look. They look to be every 20 to 40 minutes again, because of the times of the Thames Valley bus. So, yeah, the 326 does still exist. It's now Route 32, run by Carousel. Route 326 was actually one of the last ones to get discontinued. This actually got discontinued in 2006, I want to say, and was replaced by the 32, which at the time was run by Arriva, as they were still around at the time. Next is the 335, Watford to Windsor, one of these long tuck routes that used to exist. As you can see, hourly service all day from Watford, Livingston Road, which is where the old garage used to be, through Watford, Croxley, Chorleywood, up to Windsor via Giles Cross and Slough, which is fantastic. Then we got the 347. Now, the 347 was Hemel Hempstead to Uxbridge, with the 347A going for Oxley Estate between Northwood and Watford. But during the day, it looks to be. Looks like they were. Okay, will they be 20, 40 minutes? Or will they be at 20 minutes? They were every half an hour, which. Okay, no problem. I can understand why. In Hemel, we used to terminate the old bus station, which is no more, unfortunately. I know where it is, but it hasn't been in use since 2018. Next up, 353, another one of these tuck routes. This went also to Windsor, but this time started in Northchurch. But most of the day terminated in Berkhamsted. I know. Brewhouse Green, Chesham, Amersham, Charford, Slough, Windsor, just the same again. Don't know who ran this one. I think this was Windsor Garage, because I think there was always this situation that the route used to be split. I think this used to also be operated by the Amersham Garage as well, which closed in the 90s. But there was always this thing about one of the duties used to be a route master. Now, the 353, I don't forget the time it was, but in the latter half, this was actually operated by driver-only buses. In that case, I think it was RFs. Next up, 362. 362 is High Wycombe to Chesham. Still runs to this day as the number one service run by Carousel. However, as you can see, it used to run all sorts of weird variants. Well, during the day, it was every half an hour from Lake Hill. A couple of times a day from Nash Arms. But most of the day started in Chesham. Lake Hill, sorry. Through Chesham, through Homer Green, and up to High Wycombe. There was a faster variant from High Wycombe to Chesham, the 724, which we'll get to in a minute. Next up, 363, another one of the High Wycombe Town Runners. High Pen to Topridge, which later became... Topridge became the 33. Penn then became the 31, but now it's Route 30. Both run by Riva at the time, but now both run by Carousel Bus. As you can see, they were every half an hour, all day. Brilliant. Then we've got the 373. Now, the 373 was from Penn to Beaconsfield. Nowadays, Route 31 does go to Beaconsfield, but at that time, in the 70s, it didn't. It used to get off at... You used to get off in Penn and wait for the 373 bus, which operated... Looks like every 90 minutes, which isn't the best. Then you've got Route 398, which was a Cheshire, which was a Beaconsfield Quart Hill estate route, which Quart Hill is in Amersham. It was in between Amersham and Cheshire. And this ran a couple of times a day. Looks like every 2 to 3 hours, which is not the best, but that's the thing about it. Next up, another of these long routes, the 441. This ran all the way from Beaconsfield, from High Wycombe, Beaconsfield, Slough, Windsor. But after going to Windsor, it went to Staines. Nowadays, Staines to Windsor is covered by Route 10, run by Carousel Bus, a recently introduced route as of a couple of weeks ago, as I record this. But back in the day, from Collinbrook to Staines, it was operated by a company called Bear Buses on Route 305. But they've reinstated the link to Staines from Windsor now on by bus, which I think there already was one, but I can't say for sure. But the route itself was hourly throughout the day, so pretty good service all the way to Staines, more or less. Next up, 442. Now the 442 is another one of these High Wycombe Town Runners. This ran every 30 minutes all day to Huxford Rise. Huxford Rise is now Route 34, I want to say. Used to be Route 20, used to be Route 39, but they recently changed the network in the High Wycombe area. It's now Route 34. But this route also has a notable name, the Noddy. Because if you don't know, back in the olden days, it used to be the case that this used to be just a poky route, just around the houses, every 30 minutes. And on a duty, you used to do about 10 trips. It was ridiculous. At the High Wycombe Bus Running Day, which happens every year, apart from this year, unfortunately, Amersham District Motor Bus Society used a GS, which was the bus type that they used on the route back in the day. And then we've got the Green Line network. Started with the 710, which was Uxbridge to Amersham, with looks like an hourly service. Brilliant. 711 was one of these other ones. This started in Reigate, through Sutton, Mitcham, through central London, which obviously caused a bit of a through Hanwells, Uxbridge, Denham, Giles Cross, up to Wycombe. This was, I believe, run by both Reigate and High Wycombe. After High Wycombe closed in 1977, this was actually made a few years beforehand. It caused an emergency timetable of every 2 hours, even though this route back in the day used to be, at this time, hourly. But I believe they used to be every half hour back in the day as well. Sorry. But yeah, so that's the 711. Next up is 724, which ran hourly again. High Wycombe, Haslemere, Amersham, Chatham, Watford, Garston, Hatfield, Ware, Harlow, and Epping, and up to Romford. Again, I believe this was run by Romford, which I think was... No, it wouldn't have been. It would have been Harlow. Yeah, probably. But as well as that, you also had High Wycombe running as well. The 724 does still exist. It's now run by Riva from Harlow to Heathrow Airport. So after Rickmansworth, it doesn't go to High Wycombe. Next up are the non London transport routes. And the first one is Thames Valley. If you don't know Thames Valley were London Country's competitor in the Wycombe area. They had a garage in Wycombe Mash. Obviously, London Country had the garage at Queen Alexandra Road just by the hospital. And their first route they operated was the number 18 bus from Bourne End to Marlow. Just a short route, about 13 minutes long. But the frequency is ridiculous. It looks like every 2 hours. And I don't know why they did that. Seriously. Next, the 20, which was High Wycombe, Bourne End, Maidenhead, up to Windsor. Basically now the 37 bus actually now, run by Carousel. This ran, let's see, shall we? Every 15 minutes, looks like most of the day. Brilliant. Better than what London Transport would do. Next up, Route 21, which was Aylesbury. 2 a day, once a day, started at Bourne End, however, so you can get a direct bus from Bourne End to Aylesbury. But during the day, it was every 40 minutes. Obviously, nowadays, the 130 and 300 services run by Red Line are every half hour each, so combined every 15 minutes. Stupid. Next up, 25, Flagwell Heath and Bourne End, which operated every 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes. Brilliant. And then we got the 27, which was Great Missenden. That ran hourly throughout the day. 28 was Reading, which ran only Reading every hour, but during the rest of the day, terminated in Marlow for some reason. But they operated every 20 minutes all day. Then the 30, which was Paloma Hill, a day hourly service, even though it was a short 27-minute run. And then Route 31, which was Walters Ash, Lacey Green, now on the Route 300, run by Red Line, running. It's interesting because it only went to Lacey Green every other bus, so it was like every 40 minutes. Next is Route 32, which was Chinner, with its, looks like, quite infrequent service again. Then Route 33, which was Dashwood Castle. Route 33 does still exist, and it does actually go to Dashwood Castle. It's now Castlefield. Running every 10 minutes all day. Come on. Then there was the speed run, the 34, which was hourly. Sadly, the 33334 run by Red Eagle. Don't run that often now. Dowley next, Route 35, which operated every 30 minutes. But only every 2 hours does it go to Down Common. Then Route 36, 37, which were the Sands, Lane End, Cadmore End, Fingers, Turnville routes, with the 28 also going to Henley on Thames, which ran a couple of times a day. But during the day, it looks like they were every 40 minutes, so it wasn't the best. Then Route 38, which was Santa Booker, with a regular 15-minute service by the looks of things, which is really good. Not every journey went all the way though. Then we got the 39, 40, 41, which went to different places depending on the route. If it was a 39, it went to Watlington. If it was a 40, it was Redstone. And if it was a 41, it was Icestone. And by the looks of it, combined every half an hour, so still pretty good. 42 was Booker Hill to Wycombe Mash. Half hourly service throughout the day. Then Route 80 was another one of these Aylesbury routes. This was an interesting one as it went through the villages between High Wycombe and Printers Risborough, and then normal route from there. Then the 81, Booker, High Wycombe again, running every 40 minutes. And then a summary of services from High Wycombe to West Wycombe. Then we've got the City of Oxford services. They operated a 75, which was every 2 hours service. Nowadays, this is the 275 run by Carousel. However, it only goes as far as Chilham most of the day. There is one journey a day that does go to High Wycombe. Oxford also ran a couple of services into Aylesbury. As you can see, during the day they were hourly, but it depended on where they went. Because the 80 was from Stoke-on-Trent, 81A was Princess Risborough, the 88 was Watlington via Chilham, and that went to Princess Risborough only. And the 88A went to Aylesbury via Town. Then you got the Sermon Coaches route, which was a Tuesday only route from Hampton to Hayne 3 times a day. And then we got the coach services again, with the competitor services, starting with Raw Blue, which was of course the West operator. They operated services once a day, it looks like, from Beaconsfield or High Wycombe straight to Reading, Andover, Salisbury, Yeovil, Taunton, Lionhead, Ilfracombe, Exeter, Torquay, Paynton, Plymouth, Newquay, Falmouth, and up to Penzance. Raw Blue was a major operator in that area that did that. Then South Midland, which operated services from London, Victoria to Oxford. This is route D for them. Nowadays, obviously, Oxford to London is the Oxford Tube service run by Stagecoach Group. And then Association Motorways, who ran the 123 services up to High Wycombe, Stoke-on-Trent, Oxford, Cheltenham, and Gloucester. They also ran at Route 4, which was a service from Weston-super-Mare. They also ran a Bristol Greyhound also ran a service as well, but at the time, because this was in February, the service was suspended because of the winter. Then you had the Richards coach, which was a 2-hourly service from Heathrow to High Wycombe. And then Crossville also ran a service through High Wycombe, starting at Uxbridge, Giles Cross, High Wycombe, up to Stoke-on-Trent, Stratford-upon-Avon, Birmingham, Chester, Birkenhead, and Liverpool, operated by Crossville. And then the Midland Red services as well, which ran from Uxbridge up to Manchester. And then you got the Metropolitan Line services, which obviously won't bog your mind. Even at the time, the Metropolitan, this only shows the Uxbridge services, because obviously it was in the area. But I won't show you those. And then you had the Piccadilly Line, which was going to Uxbridge at the time. And it also shows a subway transport on the Central Line from West Ruislip. But as well as that, it also showed the British rail services, starting with the Great Western Main Line, which again, I won't bug your money on that. Then you had Windsor Slough, the Windsor Eton Riverside Line, Marlow Maidenhead, and the Aylesbury services on the Chiltern Main Line. And it might also have one more, actually. And the answer is, it did the Greenford branch. So, yeah, so that's the guide, and there's the back, just all green. But that is the February 1971 London Country map for the High Wycombe, Beaconsfield, Giles Cross area. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoy it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, goodbye.